All right, that was Stone, I Got a Feeling. Great song, and the thing that I thought I just was surprised listening back was that, from the first time I listened to the song, this time, the version that I got was edited because there's a line in the song where it says, "Thanks to all the writers of Pinky Blinders, you made another generation of wankers." But they cut out the wankers. But it is true because there's a lot of these shows and shit that are out influence the younger generation. Pretty shitty. Like you were saying, the Real World stuff. Yeah, yeah. It's yes, yes, yeah, yeah. They did. All right. So before we get started to stick style, I have got myself a beer today. Trying something different. At the feed, I surprise you a little bit. It's Hoogen Garden. See if I can get it up here. It is. It is a wonderful Belgian wheat. I never had a Belgian wheat. I heard about them. Never had them. Delightful. Are you? Oh God, I hate fucking citrus. Oh, I hate IPAs so much. Yes, but I would say Blue Moon. I know. I agree. Are you drinking anything this week? Yes. Oh, that looks like Pop. That looks like Papa's cough medicine. Yes, this is going to be a good afternoon. All right, let's get into this week's Stick Style with the worst intro.
Gaming.
All right, so first up in this week's Stick Style news, Unity CEO is fucking out of here, which we knew was going to happen eventually. So those that don't remember, oh, Freeman's going to go take care of something. For those that don't remember, the Unity company makes it's a platform for games, very popular games, mostly mobile games. So there's big money involved in that. And the developers were told not too long ago that every time somebody downloads one of their games, that they're going to have to give Unity money, and it really didn't go well at all for anybody. Um, I don't understand why they even came out and said that. Like none of it makes any sense. Why would you come out and say that you're gonna have any sort of developer expenses? Man, my lights are all fucked up today. Um, any sort of expenses going back, like it didn't make any sense. So they made a big mistake, Unity did, by charging developers per download of their games. So it didn't go over well, which John Riccatello was his name. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I look, if you come here to this show for pronunciations of fucking words, you're in the wrong place, man.
Much less names.
Because I don't even try. Like I give it one shot and that's it. So this guy, John Riccatello, resigned. Thank God. James Whitehurst will now be appointed the interim CEO. And
I'm going to
apparently,
say it's probably Richitelio, the double C Italian, like fettuccine.
great. I'm half Italian and I totally didn't get that. But I mean, I got that, what you said, but I didn't think about it.
You didn't catch it when you read the name. I got you.
No. Let's hope that this will fix some of the issues because the developers need to come back to the fold. If you piss off enough developers, you just pissed off your entire base and company. You know, that's what your company is founded on, your developers. So if you're pissing them off, you're screwed. Now here's something else that's interesting that nostalgia. I love nostalgia. Atari's releasing their first new cartridge in 46 years.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you love it and don't hate it. because I think it's the coolest thing. Uh, Now, the Atari 2600 was the best gaming platform you could get in 1982, and
Well,
at
in
the
that
time,
case, if you love it, I guess I'll hate it.
and and at the time, a game called Save Mary was in development. Now, I can tell you that one of my kids is into the whole nostalgia and old video game systems, and he had brought over an Atari, and we did play it. And man, that game was a lot better when I was, 10.
Memories.
Yeah, because that tank game really sucks now, along with all the other ones. Uh, but at the time, in '82, there was a game called Save Mary that was in development. They have finally finished it.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, you thought Starfield took a while.
yeah. You can pre-order the physical copy for $60. It'll be a platinum case, but it's going to be an actual um, uh, physical copy cartridge with the case, colored manual. Not too bad. There's only going to be 500 of them made. So if you're into those nostalgia games, or if you bought one of the new 2600 plus systems, which is an actual pretty cool deal, uh, you can utilize this cartridge on it as well. And speaking of nostalgia, Mr. Freemo,
Mhm.
Aspire and Lucasfilm Games will be releasing the Star Wars Heritage Pack. This one I'm kind of a little bit excited about for all the people that are going to have availability for this, because I've already played all these. But man, what a grouping! It's a physical version of the Heritage Pack that they released on the Switch, I believe, which is all digital and ironically more expensive. But you're going to be able to get physical versions of these on December 8th, and they're only going to be $60 for all these games.
All of that is correct except for one thing.
What's that?
Only 5 of the games will be physical. You still have to download the latest 2.
Really?
Yeah, read the article, Phoenix.
It's fucking great. Stop just looking at the pictures. All right, so you're gonna get the Force Unleashed. Great game. Both 1 and 2 are great. Republic Commando, which is okay. Episode 1 Racer. We'll go back to that in a minute. Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, both great games. And Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, which is worth the $60 by itself. If you're a Star Wars fan and you have not played Old Republic 1 and 2, you are missing out. If you're a Star Wars fan, you haven't played Force Unleashed 1 or 2, you are definitely missing out. Because that guy, Sam Witterman, I think is his name, that plays uh, the apprentice in the Force Unleashed games, literally he's a huge Star Wars junkie. Uh, Filoni loves him. So he's been doing voices in the cartoons and shit for years. He's been doing Palpatine's voice. He just, the guy loves it. Now, episode 1 Pod Racer. I I don't understand why everybody I shouldn't say that. I understand why everybody puts it in lists of top Star Wars games because of what it was and what it was at the time. But the game is not very good. It's basically a race car game, but with pod racers, which I get, but after you do the first 1 or 2 races, it really loses its appeal, in my opinion. And they put it on
Yeah.
everybody's list. So it's nice to see that at least Nintendo's trying to get out of the Mario uh, touchy-feely uh, Japanese type games and get some other games on that platform, because the Switch is a great platform, really good platform. But there's only, even when I had mine, either one of them that the kids stole, um, even when I had mine, you're going through the games and you're like, oh, Luigi, oh, Yoshi, oh, Mario, all these games. And you're like, okay, maybe I want something with a little substance. Let me get something that's sink my
Yeah.
teeth into. And you can't without all the Japanese anime influence. And I just, sometimes you don't want that, but they're starting to do that a little bit more. The one that really trips me out is the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty type games that are on Nintendo Switch. I keep thinking of this little like 5-year-old that's like, oh, can I play this game? And then you see him calling in airstrikes and shit. Uh, so one of the other fun things this week was Sony. Sony has released their own movie streaming app on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. Freemo's going to sleep. Um, Now, you can buy or rent Sony movies. Now, and sometimes I bring shit up like this about Sony, especially to tweak Freemo. Because there's stuff that I like and stuff that I don't like about Sony and their PlayStation. And the thing that makes me laugh about this story, is that the movie streaming app on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, you can now buy or rent Sony movies. There is a lot of Sony properties, but Sony's also a giant dick when it comes to their movie properties, which is why you don't see a lot of their properties on other platforms. Spider-Man is the first one that comes to mind. That franchise is so a mess, and it's all because of Sony. All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't get their shit together with that. And
But
one of those
hey, if there's a Sony movie I wanna watch now, I can go pay 4 or $500 and get a
PlayStation
is this even compatible on the 4 or is it 5 only?
4 and 5.
4 and 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I can pick up a, refurbed one for 250.
Yeah.
How much is their service?
Premium's like 160 a year.
Okay, so we're in the 4 to $500 range and then rent the movie. Yeah, that sounds like a deal.
Well, if you are a premium member, and again, they just went up.
Or or just wait for it to hit Netflix, Hulu, Prime.
Yep. Yes. But again, as we've said on the show before, both the PlayStation and the new Xbox, so the Series X and the PlayStation 5, are very good media centers for that 20 something that's out on their own for the first time and has their apartment and stuff. You're not at the level that Freebo and I are at, where you have an Apple TV or a service in every single room and you have multiple services. You're pinching your pennies right now because you're just starting out. So it's nice to see both of these companies give you options where you can rent. So with Xbox, you have a lot of the apps: Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all those. Sony, you do, but they're very tight-lipped about it because, again, for a company that constantly gets hacked and leaks shit, I don't understand how they can have a console that's this locked down, yet you fuck up everything else. Like, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense to me. Because I tried to sample some of the movies, because if you're a member, which, like I was saying, the premium membership went from 120 a year to 160 a year. If you're a premium member, you're going to get 100 movies for free from that service.
It's like they have a security department, and there's one dude that knows his shit, and every time they try to get him involved with other areas other than the PlayStation, he's like, pulls out his contract,
It's not my.
"Only work on PlayStation."
Yeah, I don't want any part of that other business at all, you crazy ass people. So if you're a member, you get 100 movies for free, which is a good amount of movies. I couldn't sample any of them because in order to do that, I have to turn on HDCP, which is a security protocol for HDMI, which will not allow me to stream it or anything else. But it makes you not able to broadcast it or record it for our show. So couldn't do that and don't want to go through the activation, because when you do, and I had this happen to a couple of customers that came up to me at work, dumbasses, but I've had it happen
Uh,
here.
so
If you,
that sounds an awful lot like,
oh God,
what
what?
was that? What was that? DRSM that they put on
DCMA?
CDs?
DCMA.
DCMA, Digital Content Media Authorization,
Yep.
um, back on
DRM.
the CDs that wouldn't allow you to
Yes, yes, DRM. I know.
copy anything off of a CD,
Uh,
even though you had bought it and it was yours, and if you wanted to make a backup, you couldn't, and then they sued people over it.
yes, they did. Lots of little grandmothers that had their grandkids using their internets. They're also going to add some anime from Crunchyroll.
Hmm.
And of course, these are all benefits. For instance, you can buy,
Sorry, I was just having a
I
nostalgic
know you
moment on
were,
why I hate Sony,
you can buy Gran
and they're
Turismo.
continuing it apparently.
You can buy Gran Turismo in the app, the movie Gran Turismo, before it becomes available on any other digital platform. And you're also going to get some credits, some game credits in the Gran Turismo 7 game. You have to admit, Fremont, that is kind of cool. That if you buy a movie that's based on a game, you will get credits in the game if you play it.
Yeah,
That
that's really cool. It's Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo is a great racing game.
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie.
I yeah.
How's that gonna translate?
It's just game credits, who cares? Okay, let me
Okay, how many game credits?
I have no idea, didn't say.
Okay, how much do game credits cost?
I have no clue, I haven't played that game in
Like,
a
what's
minute.
it like 1,000, $10 gets you 1,000
I don't know if you
Microsoft
can
points or
buy
whatever
any.
it is.
Okay, I see where you're going. I see where you're going with this.
So unless, unless it's cheaper to buy a PlayStation 4, get a premium membership, and rent the
Ugh,
movie to get these points versus just buying them, I don't see the point.
you are curmudgeon, like, worse than me. How about this? How about the new Sony? How about the new PlayStation? What are you doing? Oh, he's got a blanket on. Um, he's got a blanket on. It is getting kinda cold. Oh, there we go, got a robe. I came
Now,
close.
now, now you can call me curmudgeon. I got the bathrobe on. I got the
Ca
old man robe on.
I almost wore my robe today, on the show because it's cold up here, um, up in this part of the world. Also Sony news. Let's see if you like this, because you have to admit some of the things that Sony does is good. There's a new smaller PlayStation 5 coming. They're smaller, about 30% smaller. The panels on the side are now gonna be, instead of one panel on the side, it's gonna be split into two panels, which ironically, I think D-Brand's gonna be really pissed about it because they've been making their money making fun of Sony, and now Sony does something like this. Uh, the top will be glossy. The top panel, when you stand it upright, the top panel will be glossy. The bottom panel will be a matte finish. If you purchase the digital edition, which I think is cool, if you purchase the digital edition, you can take out the bottom panel and you can actually put a 4K Blu-ray in the spot where it's supposed to be on the. So say if you don't have the money right away, you buy the digital version of your PlayStation, but then 4 or 5 months down the road, you're a single guy, going to college or whatever, and you're like, man, I really want to get some of these Blu-ray. I got this box set that I got for Christmas, but I have no place to play it. Now you can go down to the store and you can pay $80 for this attachment that goes onto your PlayStation, comes with a different cover and everything, to have a Blu-ray player on your unit. I think that's brilliant. And I can tell you for mine right over there, I would have taken off the Blu-ray player and just left it as is temporarily. If I needed the Blu-ray player, I put it in, or if I needed a disc drive, I put it in, but I would remove it. That's me. That's what I would have done. Um, the strangest thing about this article and the story, though, is that nobody's talking about the stand. If you read the article that we posted in the show notes, it clearly says, like in a quick flash, uh, that you get a horizontal stand with the unit. So you're laying it flat. But if you want a vertical stand, it's going to cost you an additional $30. And it's separately. It's not even in the box. Now, if I have kids, if I had younger kids still, I would not be putting the box vertically at all. Down here
Yeah.
in the studio, both of them are vertical. Upstairs in the living room, they're horizontal. Because, go ahead. You
This
sure?
goes way back, like 20 years ago,
Yep.
and this guy had his Xbox vertical on the floor next to his entertainment center, right next to the door where his dog would run through.
Oh, did this happen online? Were we online when this
Yeah,
happened? Oh,
yeah, and
yes.
the dog comes scrambling into the room on the hardwood floor, you know,
Yep.
paws sliding, and his
Yep.
back end slings around. He hits the Xbox, it falls over, and we hear. We pull the
Yeah.
disc out, and it's looks like somebody's rotor who hadn't changed their brake pads 6
Yeah,
months
yeah,
after they
yeah,
knew they should have.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
like, "Eh."
priceless. Yeah, if you drop it, it's over. So that's why upstairs in the living room they're all laying on their side. Down here in the studio they're vertical. Oh, before we leave stick style, look what I got in. Show it on the show. Oh, look at that beauty. So this
That is a good looking route.
so this is not this is what we talked about on the show before. This is that plastic, not plastic. Well, it is kind of plastic. Wrap for the Xbox Series X. And it's Starfield, of course. It costs, I think, $50. Comes nice and flat. What it is the back of it has two pieces. This red piece is Velcro, and it literally, instead of putting a sticker on your Xbox or on your PlayStation, this is, I think, the wave of the future, because it just simply wraps around. That's all it does. It wraps around it. It's brilliant. It's got all the correct cutouts, and on the inside is all gray with just the Starfield logo, and then on the other side is the white. I don't know. I would assume that it. Let me check. Yeah, that'll work. You can put it gray if you want to have an all gray Xbox. I think it's beautiful, brilliant. It took me. You're muted, Free. You're muted. It took me about 30
Would the
seconds.
cutout still be in the right place if you reversed it?
Yes. Yep.
Uh,
No, maybe not. Ah, fuck. Damn it. All right, so white only. But it is a wonderful thing. Takes about
well, you
30
could use
seconds
it
to
as
put
a
it on.
security device so nobody could get on your Xbox if you reversed it, because then they couldn't get to the button.
It's a valid point. That is a valid point. $50.
You'd have to
And
hide. You'd have to hide your 72 controllers, but
I think it would be money well spent for $50. Let's get into the last segment of the week. Hey, hi there. How you
she's
doing?
making her first appearance post surgery.
Oh, she looks great. That's it. Slap him in the back of the head. First up, and for what it's worth, we told you about it before, and it has now happened. I even got a couple of text messages from some of the technicians I worked with, because they all poo-pooed me and said, no, that's never going to happen. Well, Microsoft has now added control for your RGB into Windows. It is official. It's there. I've used it. It works absolutely great. They partnered with Acer. Don't know why anybody partners with Acer. That one's a mystery. Asus, HP, HyperX, Logitech, Razer, SteelSeries, and MSI laptops. Right now, most of the controlling is on the stuff that's out now. Like, I have an older Razer mouse upstairs, and that one worked. The Alienware keyboard did not, which is a Dell product. So, but my Razer headphones did as well. So there's a lot of good to it. It's very simple, like we talked about on the show before. Very simple. You have different patterns, different colors, and you can adjust them accordingly. And this is going to take away the use of the IQ software, which is the best one out there, because other companies like Synapsys from Razer is god awful. Freebo will tell you firsthand the Logitech G Suite is a fucking dumpster fire. I removed mine. I got the camera to work.
Fortunately, I don't use any of the RGB stuff. Don't
Yeah,
care.
right.
I'm focused on the screen. I don't care what the lighting looks like around me. I'm still going to shoot you or wreck you,
Yeah.
regardless.
Oh, that's so true. He even takes boxes of crayons from little kids on the game. Uh, Many things in the take a look at the show notes, because there's a list of things that are
I take
coming.
umbrage with that. I did not touch
Uh-huh.
that school transport in Starfield. I
You
did not
didn't.
touch
You
it.
didn't board it.
All I did was confirm that I was a pirate.
Scared the shit out of the kids. Um, so my
Except
information.
for the one that you heard come over and drown
Yeah,
out the teacher. How do I join? And I'm like, that's my boy.
that's it right there. You're the one I'm looking for. Uh, Take a look at the list in the show notes, because that's going to tell you really what devices are going to be coming. For what my sources say, the coming soon devices are going to be within the next 6 months. They're going to be all the devices on the list. But that's, again, you just go with a grain of salt when you hear from your sources. I have been personally waiting for that feature. I think it's a brilliant feature, because I think Windows 11 is a phenomenal operating system. I really think Windows did very well doing this. And I think
Yeah,
it's,
10 kind of bridged the gap
yeah,
for a while. It was not a bad operating system by any means. It's Windows, so yeah, it's
yeah,
got its problems. But 11,
yeah. And
I'm not going to say they hit it out of the park, but
close,
it's a
close.
solid triple.
So yeah, and as a person that lives in both worlds, I'll tell you that Apple, you always get in front of an Apple machine and you just go, okay, it works. Like their migration assistant's brilliant and stuff like that. Windows 11 is really damn close. Like I used to sit in front of 7 or 10 and go, okay, what do I have to update? Let me see what's not
Yeah,
working when I restarted this time. 11's
yeah,
not
or
like that.
God, why can't I still be using XP?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so true. Uh, XP was just the way I liked it. Uh, but 11 is top notch. And as a part of doing the developer preview that I'm doing, for a lot of the dev stuff, they're streamlining it. Like they're pulling stuff back off of the operating system. It's almost as if they're smart enough to where they're sitting there. Could it possibly be Gen Xers getting in charge? Uh, they're looking at stuff going, hey, nobody freaking uses that. Like
Yeah,
look at what they did with Paint. Do you hear about what they did with Paint? MS
mhm,
Paint. So MS Paint's been the butt
all of
of
it.
jokes for
Paint,
years.
photo viewer. I mean, they've pulled a lot of that stuff out, and you can add it back, but it's not.
Oh no, no, you went the wrong way on me. So Microsoft Paint, which has been the ridicule of all of us, now get Photoshop. What do you use a fucking Paint for? Paint added a feature. That's all they did. They revamped the Paint service and they added one feature, which was the cut and crop, remove background. And it's a one click like AI. So it works great. The other piece that's impressive is their phone link. Phone link was a service that was in, I want to say 7, but definitely 10. And you just sat there looking at it going, why is phone link updating? What is it updating for? What do I use it for? And you click on it
Yeah,
and it tells you you can plug in your Samsung phone and you can look at your pictures or look at something. And it was like, okay, that's not even a feature. I could do that anyway. I'm not impressed. Now you look at phone link in iOS in Windows 11, and that son of a bitch works for Apple and Samsung. When you plug it in, the Photos app pops up, and right there you have. I cannot tell you how much of a pleasure that is to teach the boomers this, because so much of my
yeah,
day is spent going, how do I get my pictures from my phone to my computer? Now I go, oh, plug it in, because they almost always have a Windows 11 machine. Plug it in, Photos pops up, hit import all, and then it simply asks you, just like on an Apple computer, would you like to delete these from your device? Boom, done. That's
yeah,
where Windows is coming in. But as you pointed out, they're removing stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Microsoft, for removing fucking WordPad. Don't know why it took you so fucking long. Can't tell you how many times I've had to deal with that fucking nugget where somebody comes in and goes, yeah, so I got this, I need to send this out. Well, nobody's going to use WordPad, brother. You can save it and you can email it to you. My friend says he can't open it. Well, let me see what are you sending. Oh, a WordPad document. That's wonderful.
yeah,
Nobody's using that, buddy. How about we get you into Word? I'm not paying for that. Okay, we'll get you into a open office. Nice and free. You'll love it. But that's what you end up doing because it's just it's brilliant what they're doing and I love what they're doing. They're really making advancements. Windows 11 is I I say it right now and I know I'm going to regret it. I haven't had any crashes, no BSODs, and I'm throwing some shit out of here in the studio. I mean,
yeah.
I'm doing some shit. And you like it. How is it in the work environment?
Um,
Oh,
we're
wait a minute, you're not
just
adopting it, are you?
we're just now any new machines coming in, we're putting 11 on.
Nice. Nice.
So we're gonna migrate through attrition, and then at some point, if we don't get everything life cycled
Mhm.
before they kill 10, then we'll have to upgrade what's out there. But yeah, I mean, as far as what I've used it for, because I've upgraded my machine and tested every app I can possibly think of. Try to think like a user and break stuff, and I haven't
Yeah,
been able
yeah.
to really. So
Now I can say that uh it's funny to me that you say that because right now you're dealing with two separate Windows versions, Windows 11, Windows 11 Pro, which is you might as well call it Windows 11 Pro slash Enterprise because it has
yeah,
the two or three pieces that need to be in an enterprise environment. Now, kids, listen up because you don't have to worry anymore because Fremo and I and the rest of Gen X lived through fucking Windows 2008 where there was 18 versions of fucking everything.
Yeah,
Server,
and
Server
Windows
2.
NT and
Which one was the one that had like I want to say I know Server 2008 was a hot mess, but there was an operating system. Was it 7? It might have been 7. There was like Windows Home, Windows Premium, Windows Business, Windows Pro, Windows.
yeah, 7 had,
Was it
like, 8
7?
versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people will come up to me and be like, "Which one do I buy?" I'm like, "I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I really don't even know what the difference is between do you want better desktop backgrounds? Because I think that's the difference between premium and home. Like, there's no real big
Yeah, it
difference.
was ridiculous.
So, uh, we were waiting for that Windows features, which was great. Another thing I didn't even realize I needed, but I now do. Showed it to the financial advisor over here at BGFG, and they were just as excited as I am. This is the Elgato Prompter. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I can't wait. This is a godsend for those of us that do broadcasting. I've used one of these at a radio station once, and I've missed it ever since, and that was 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a teleprompter.
it is. Now, I've tried doing it here in the studio with an iPad. That's why I have an iPad mini upstairs, because I tried doing it with an iPad, and it's difficult to do. It's a pain in the ass, to be quite honest. If you're using your phone, then your phone's being used. So it's not something that's easily done. And the real teleprompters will run you anywhere from, $800-900 all the way up to $2,500. This is a wonderful teleprompter for streamers. It's tiny. I believe it's like a 6-inch or 7-inch screen. You just add a camera. And as you can see for the picture in the show notes or on the video, it's got like every attachment you could possibly need. If if you don't listen to anything we say and you go buy yourself a DSLR uh, to do your streaming, then it's got every conceivable attachment to get your DSLR onto this teleprompter. And it's going to be nice to be able to look up at somebody and everybody be able to see my eyes instead of the glare of my screen or anything like that. I can read it right off the top, my show notes, but it's also a monitor. So Windows sees it as an extra monitor. You're just telling it to go over there as a teleprompter and utilizing the software, but it is
Right,
essentially another monitor. So let's say after the show when we're gaming today, I have my security cameras for my home right over here on my left on an iPad. I could put that up there and see what's going on and have it right there within view, which is brilliant. If you're a sports junkie and there's a game on, you can actually watch the game on your little teleprompter there. It's got so many attachments. I can't even tell you. There's so many things if you're an influencer and you have a lot of people in your chat room, then you can put your chat service up on that teleprompter as well and just watch the chat from there, which is nice because you don't have to keep turning. We don't have to turn that much because we don't have anybody in our chat rooms. Yeah, they're either playing with us or they're not there. Um,
yeah,
it powers right off of USB 3.0, which is nice. Oh, it's a 9-inch screen, which is a good size. It's a damn good size. It's $280 for the system, I guess you could say.
right.
Uh, your camera cost is going to be a little bit different. They do have an attachment for your phone to be used as a webcam, which a lot of people are starting to do free. They're using their camera as a webcam, and it's a damn good one naturally because it's a good camera. So it's nice to see that happening instead of a DSLR. But it's got attachments for the DSLRs, different rings for the different lenses you're going to use. Uh, so 280 for that. If you want to get into Elgato all in on that, I didn't see an allotment for their Elgato face cam, but I did see the attachment for the Elgato 4K cam. The 4K cam is like $300. So you might be into this for 580. But if you're into it for 580 and you do want to broadcast or you have started broadcasting and you enjoy broadcasting, this is the way to go. It really is well worth the $500 investment. I'm definitely going to be getting it. That's a gimme because the amount of stuff that we do between Stick Style and BGFG, for me, that's just It's a no-brainer.
So I want you to look about 5 inches above the monitor you're using right now.
Yeah. What am I looking at?
Yeah, the prompter that's not there but will be.
Correct.
A
What
world of difference. No screen glare on the
yeah,
glasses, nothing.
yeah. So it's gonna be nice, and my old ass can make the fonts fucking bigger. So I might not even need my glasses. 'Cause, like,
Nice.
the current show notes I have, well, they're a certain size. So all in 580, but the unit itself is 280. Go to Elgato. It's Elgato and Corsair are fan favorites of BGFG. Elgato has never failed us. Uh, you can get different headsets, you can get different things, but you always end up coming back to Elgato for something. Before we go, how about some joke tech? I It's out of stock right now, but when it comes back in stock, it'll be mine, and I am
Yeah,
going
mine's
to
back
torture
ordered.
people.
Mine's
Oh,
back ordered. The
it's
only
so
thing I
good.
didn't like was I did see a few people say that it quit working after it had been moved a few times.
Okay, I'll buy another one for $10,
Yeah.
$11. So what we're talking about is the Screaming Goat USB. If you've ever heard of Screaming Goat, it's pretty funny, and it's a screaming goat. It's screaming like a person. So what it is just a USB with sound on it, a little speaker. You plug it in, say a power strip behind somebody's desk. And in about 3 minutes, it'll start. And then every 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, it will just scream, goat scream. And they're not going to know where the hell it's coming from. It is brilliant. I can't wait to get this in, and I can't wait to use it at work. Oh, I can't wait. It's just going to be, there's so many USB connections at a tech company
Oh,
that
my
you can get
house,
away with
dude. I'm
this.
gonna I'm
Like,
gonna be I'm gonna be moving that thing around all the time at the house.
yeah, it's going to be so much fun. All right. Do you have anything else this week, good sir?
No, that is it for me.
Okay, we'll catch everybody next week. Don't forget, you can catch us all on Stick Style, gaming, doing a bunch of other stuff. So that's it for this week. Tense down, show's over.
Whoop, whoop.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.